Okay, here we are. So today is our class 8. We are very, very close to the end of this cycle. This is our class 8, and we start our evaluations and assignments for the end of the course, right? So today we have our first final project presentation. I mean, first because we have two sections, and first we have the group 1, and tomorrow we have the group 2, okay? So just as a reminder, today we start with the presentations. After this first block, you guys will write your essay with teacher Laura for training for the exam, of course. Tomorrow, at this time, in the first block, you guys will have the second presentation, second group of the final project. And after the break, you guys will be with your teacher Laura taking the first part of the exam, okay? Tomorrow I will give you the instructions, because as you guys are going to be with her and the responses of the test, they come to me, we need to have like good communication, okay? I already talked to her, and the idea is that you guys inform us in the WhatsApp group, because you're going to be with her, and she needs to, like take care of the other group answers. But it's okay. Tomorrow I will remind you about that. It's just like a reminder. And by Thursday, first part or first block, second part of the test, second block, speaking test, and that's the end. Okay, so we are full of assignments this week. Perfect, my dear friends. This is the agenda for today. Very simple, very easy. We start with general information and instructions. General information for you, referring to the reminders that I have given you this week, and it's to work on more, please, because this time it's not because of me. I mean, it's not because I am mean with you, no, it's because I need to have that ready by Friday, because during the weekend I will be off, and those reports, scores, everything that I have to send my coordinators will be ready by Friday, okay? So this time there are no chances to change anything, and that's why I have been telling you about that since last week. Okay, so please follow those instructions and understand my position, because I need to finish by Friday. Okay, that's the general information. Second group, tomorrow, yes, the presentation of the project, and the rest of it just to take our exam. Okay, well, I know that I send you the organization of the groups, but if there are some volunteers who want to start, that would be okay. That would be perfect, because when you want, it's like a little bit easier for you. So some of you are like, okay, I want to do it, teacher. I want to try. I want to start. That's perfect. If we do not have any volunteers, of course, we will follow the same order as the one I told you or gave you, okay? That's the methodology. Another thing. Okay, Diego, you'll be the second one. Thank you. Another thing is that, as I told you, the idea is that we have 10 minutes per student, like including the discussions, the comments, So you guys start your presentation, you finish your presentation, and your classmates will add some comments, some conclusions, some arguments, But just in case we do not have any question or comment from your classmates, of course, I will ask you questions, okay? Because we cannot have like, okay, no, not questions, next. No, the idea is to have a little discussion, because the topics you guys selected are very interesting, yes? So the idea is to have this time for talking and discussing that issue. Okay, so if, for example, Diego finishes his presentation and I say, okay, guys, time for comments. Let's discuss a little bit about it. And no one says anything, and you said that you don't have questions, I will say, okay, so what do you think? Any person, I will ask questions, because the idea is to have this time for talking and expressing our opinions and ideas towards that topic. Questions? What are your questions? What are your comments or what are your suggestions? Maybe you say, okay, teacher, why if we don't do it like this? Or why don't we just try this? Or whatever you want to say, I'm all ears for that. Anything? Okay. Before we start, there is another thing that we need to do, and this time we are going to do it together because the idea is to not, like chasing you after class, like, hey, please finish the survey. No. So I'm going to give you the link of the survey now, and you guys answer it. Yes, I can wait some minutes, and that way you are preparing the rest of things to start, okay? Because last time I did it at the end of the class, and then Carolina was like, telling me, your students have not answered the survey. Hey, Sandy. And then the next day, hey, your students. And I was like, oh my God. So now let's do it now, and you guys do it, okay? That way we don't have to chase you after class. So I have here, wait a second. Okay, wait, let me give you the link. Okay, I got it. Some minutes for it, and while you guys are taking it, I'm checking the attendance. This is the survey you usually take at the end of the cycle, in which you evaluate everything related to what we do. Yes, methodology, your teacher's performance, knowledge, everything. So you guys have the link there in the chat. Please take it.
Teacher, I can start if you want.
Oh, awesome, Jorge. So you're going to be my first one today, and after you, we have Diego. Perfect. Thank you for that. We still have some minutes, Jorge, so you can be preparing everything for that.
I reading something before.
Oh, sorry, Kiara. I missed your message. Let me see. Okay, you're so brave. That's awesome. Okay, guys, it's okay. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. You guys know your classmates. We have been together for a long time. I'm not going to have that attitude of judging you. No, it's okay. Okay, let's take it as an exercise of the class, yeah, in which you have to talk. Thank you, Kiara, for that. Okay, Jorge, so I'm afraid you have to take third place. First, we're going to have Kiara, then Diego, and then Jorge. Let me just remind you here. Kiara.
Okay, let me share my screen.
No, Jorge. Sorry, you are not going to be the first one.
Okay, Kiara.
Kiara is, yeah.
Okay.
So we have Kiara, Diego, Jorge. And then we will just go with the rest of you. Okay, and then Manuel, perfect. That is 4, and we are missing the other 2. So Karen, you want to be 5? Okay, and Santiago 6. I think Santiago needs to be the last one. He needs the time. He really needs it. Yeah, so we will have Manuel, Karen, and Santiago. Perfect. Awesome. You guys are wonderful because you already organized that. Oh, Natalia, excuse me. Yeah, we're 7. So yes, I was thinking about 6 and 6. Natalia, so you want to be 7? No, you need to be 6, Santiago 7. Yes, perfect. I know Santiago is struggling with the time today, so it's better to give him a chance to be on time. So we have Natalia, and then we have Santiago. Perfect. Okay, Are you guys done with the survey? Please take it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because I don't want to be the group who is always, you know, like the one who doesn't finish it. Okay, Karen, hello. Attendance with her. Karen.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. Santiago, no yet. Kiara.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Jorge.
Tell me.
Okay, Jorge, thank you. Natalia.
Hello, teacher.
Very good. Diego.
Hi, teacher.
Awesome. Manuela. Okay. Jessica.
Present, teacher.
Great. Catherine.
Present, Miss.
Awesome. Marlon. Marlon. Okay. Mandy.
Present, teacher.
Very good. Manuel.
Present, teacher.
Great. Maria.
Present, teacher.
Awesome. And Vanessa.
Present, teacher.
Great. Okay. Hello, Santiago.
Hi, teacher.
Santiago, you're going to be the last one, okay? You are number 7. This is the organization we have. Okay. Good. What about the survey, my dear friends? Okay, I'm sending the link again in the chat, so please answer the survey, okay? Do it. Okay, very good. So let's go because we need the time. The idea is to have, you know, the time. So I'm going to try to calculate 10 minutes, you know, between each student. And that way gives us an organized presentation. Okay. Kiara, are you ready? I already let you share the screen.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, I'm going to put my camera off. I'm gonna be here with you guys, of course. And Kiara, we are all ears. Thank you.
You can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Then, hi, good evening for all. Today I want to talk you about abortion, one of things that is very controversial nowadays. Why I choose it? Because I think our modern society judge women who have decide to practice an abortion, but many people judge them without analyzing the culture, economic, and social reasons that they had. Um, why is controversial? Um, because the more simple reason is that the woman finished a baby's life. The interruption of a pregnancy become a crime for several reasons. A trend of humanitarian reform in the mid 19th century brought need liberal support for criminalization because at the time abortion was a dangerous procedure done with crude methods, few antiseptics, and high mortality rates on women and babies. Um, okay. The reasons for that support make an abortion is that is a practice, or it's a safe practice, medical, and that protects lives in the woman. Um, the abortion bans ensure healthcare for those not seeking abortions. And final, abortions bans any bodily anatomy, creating wide-ranging repercussions. Um, Now we have the reasons why people are engaged to make an abortion, because life begins at the before at conception, making abortion murder. And legal abortion promotes a culture in which life is disposable, like trash. um, Increase assets to bear cultural control, health insurance, and sexual education would make abortion unnecessary. When it happened, in the history, the first record evidence for abortions is from Egypt, in 1550 before Christ. Then until the years 18th, women's healers in Western Europe and the USA provide abortions and trained other women to do so without legal prohibitions. And how it happened? And
Kiara,
yes, teacher?
I'm so sorry. I was trying to tell you that we are not seeing your slides, just the
Ah,
first one.
nice.
Okay. Uh-huh. Now it's
Yes?
perfect. Yes, thank you.
Okay. How did it happen? We can see two kinds of methods for make abortions. A medical abortion, when the woman start her pregnancy with some pills. Um, there there aren't um, mm, there aren't many difficulties on make abortion. And the surgical abortion is it's when doctors um, uh, when maybe when the doctors get out the baby of the woman's body. You can see my screen, teacher.
We are in how it happened.
Yes, yeah. Um, Basic description of these issues. First is the changes in the abortions laws through the history. The laws about abortions is changed very drastic, because before, when the people start make abortions, uh, was something natural for the society, but now many countries decide that abortion is a crime. And movements about abortion rights generally um, is from with many women that think the abortion is a decision only of women. An anti-abortion group that is formed with generally um, groups of religions, ideas that think the abortion is not only about murder somebody, but the woman um, is murder a soul. Points that I agree. I think that the woman should decide about your body and life. Generally, when her life is in risk, mm, because the pregnancy is a high risk for her. The abortion is a civil right, not a religious right. The woman should receive medical service when they decide an abortion, not huge. And the people shouldn't huge women that design an abortion. I think that we remember that women, um when decide had make an abortions, um, they have very harder reasons and points, and I disagree, and that abortion should be able during all gestation time, because when the baby um, is in the maybe uh, 24 weeks, it's a complete body, and they uh, feel something in his environment. Children and wives need to permission from their parents or husband for an abortion. Before I said that I think the woman should decide about make abortions, and maybe when the children decide make abortion is for a pregnancy that they doesn't like, they don't like. Some medical service then make an abortion. um, I think that uh, health workers uh, should remember that we work for um, for care the people that is with life, and sometimes some health workers huge the woman and Denny their service for this woman. Mm, that's all for today. Thank you.
Okay,
I
Clara, thank you so much. My dear friends, if you noticed, she took longer than we expected. Yeah, so we're gonna have like a very, very short discussion on this topic, which is very controversial. Thank you, Chiara, good job. Very interesting information. Okay, guys, so people who want to comment on abortion, it's a very controversial topic. Come on, any of you? Okay, thank you, Diego.
Okay, teacher. I agree with this controversial topic. I agree with abortion, because women should have a
The
had
right?
all the power with to take this decision. It's only your body, your decision.
Yeah, Diego. My body, my decision. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, Jorge, go ahead.
I don't have any problem with the abortion, but I think the person should assume a part of the cost of this process. What do you think, Kiara, about that?
um like the health service in Colombia works. Only medical procedures have any cost. When you have any surgery, you should pay according your level in the EPS. Then and on when the I think that abortions are free, but um, if you are uh, in the service government service.
Okay, very good, guys.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your questions, okay? And thank you, Kara, for answering. Good. So we are going to continue with Diego. Okay, Diego, are you ready?
Yes, teacher, I'm ready.
Perfect. Kiara, can you please stop sharing your screen? Thank you.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, let's go. Diego, we are all ears. Okay.
Okay, I'm a little bit nervous.
Now
I'm
you're
sorry
doing right.
for my voice. Okay. Good evening, classmates and teacher. Today, I would like to address a topic that has been the subject of intense ethical debate throughout history. Euthanasia. It's a sensitive issue that I grade with due to its complex moral dimensions. Our agenda will be these topics. First, I will talk about what is euthanasia, types of euthanasia, pros and cons of euthanasia, my point of view, and a final time to divide time. What is euthanasia? Euthanasia, derived from the ancient Greek term meaning good death or compassionate death, is the deliberate act of ending a person's life with their consent. This practice has been discussed in various forms across different cultures and eras, but it gained significant attention in legislation in the 20th century. About the types of euthanasia, we have two principal types: euthanasia with the direct consent of the patient and the non-voluntary euthanasia, which is carried out without the direct consent of the patient for individuals who are not able to make decisions. About pros of euthanasia, we have three principal topics: autonomy and dignity. One key argument in favor of euthanasia is the principle of individual autonomy. Supporters believe that people should have the right to decide when and how they end their lives, ensuring that they die with dignity. In the second place, we have relief or of suffering. Euthanasia is often seen a compassionate choice for individuals facing unbearable pain, especially when traditional palliative care falls short. And finally, we have response use. Advocates urge that with strict regulations and medical oversight, euthanasia can be applied responsibility and under specific conditions. Um, Ensuring it is only administered in extreme cases with informed and repeated consent. About counts of euthanasia, we have also three principal topics: value of the human life. Um, on the opposite side, critics urge that every human life is intrinsic value and should be preserved, viewing euthanasia as a violation of this principle. In the second place, we have a slippery slope. There is concerns that legalization euthanasia might open the door to abuse, coercion, or situation where people feel pressure to choose death. And finally, we have alternative and palliative care. Some believe that investing in palliative care, which focuses on relieving pain and improving the quality of life, is a better approach than legalizing euthanasia. In my point of view, I think that euthanasia is the way forward in some cases when it's regulated responsibly and respects an individual's autonomy and provides a compassionate option for those facing terminal illnesses. It offers relief from unbearable suffering and allows individuals to die with dignity. Uh, by implementing strict controls and safeguards, potential concerns about the value of human life and abuse can be addressed. Finally, it grants individuals control over their own fates and offers a human way to end their suffering. And finally, we have the debate theme. I will ask you three questions. Do you believe individuals should have the right to decide when and how they end their lives when facing unbearable suffering? Why and why not? What do you think, guys?
Interesting question. Thank you so much for preparing them. Awesome. Okay, Catherine, thank you for answering. Go ahead.
Good night. Good evening. I am in favor to this quotation because I think that people who are in a disease condition should be able to choose the way to end their pain. Since many times they feel a lot of pain, and not only them, also their family members suffer. Show their family in a bed or in a hospital or in a extremely bad condition.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jorge.
Okay. I think the people that is illness should decide when they want to die, because finally they are suffering, and the important is that they don't have to suffer more, I think.
Okay.
Okay,
I
very
will
good.
ask you another
Oh,
question.
sorry, Diego Santiago is raising his hand, so maybe we
Okay,
can.
okay.
Thanks.
Yes,
Go ahead, Santiago.
thank you, Diego. Well, something that is, well, each effort doesn't is not taking account ever is the responsibilities of the people has, because well, maybe the majority of people, the large majority, think that well, before I listened someone said my body, my decision, no, well, in the part of the body of the appreciation, but in this case it's similar. But what about the responsibilities? Yeah, you have the decision over your body, but what about the responsibilities you have, for example, with your children's, with your employer, with your dues? Maybe many people could think in the in the euthanasia uh, as a short way to escape of these responsibilities. Yet it's applied only in extreme cases, but sometimes many people take advantage of this and try to take it as as an escape. I mean, I think.
Okay, Santiago, thank you. Another question for you is, should more resources be allocated to improving palliative care as an alternative to euthanasia, or do you think both options should coexist?
Come on, guys, answer that question. That's a very interesting one.
Maybe both. In my opinion, maybe both, because both it's not maybe fair to only. Oh, why only have one option when we could have two? This is my short answer.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, thank you, Santiago. Anyone else? Okay, I will continue.
Oh,
And
sorry,
for the
Diego.
okay,
Kiara was raising her hand. Okay, Kiara, go
okay,
ahead.
sorry.
Yes, I think that both options, because with some issues like a stir or cancer is the most common. Um, in the first time, uh, the people could receive palliative care, but the final is the diet for these people. Then we offer to these people the option to receive the euthanasia.
Okay, thank you, Kiara. And for the last question, how can we strike a balance between respecting an individual's autonomy and ensuring that euthanasia is not abused or misused?
Wow, that's a good one. Guys, what's your opinion? Okay, Kiara, thank you so much.
And teacher, like the abortion, um, the people should make some tests, um, psychological test, and health about their health state. Then if their condition is very very bad, they could use the euthanasia.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, teacher. It was all for this presentation.
Thank you, Diego. It was a good
Thank you very
one.
much.
And thank you for being the moderator because you was also conducting the debate, which is awesome. You were doing my job. Perfect. Thank you. Very good. Okay, guys, Diego already asked us some questions to discuss on this topic. That's very good. I'm not sure if you have any other comment for his presentation. Okay, well, awesome job. And thank you to the ones who have discussed and answered, okay? Okay, my dear friends, now we have Jorge. Okay, Jorge, we are ready for you.
Okay, teacher. Can you watch my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, today I'm going to talk about the total elimination of physical currency in favor of digital currency called CBDC. What is central digital bank currency? Central bank digital currencies or CBDCs are the digital form of a government-issued currency that isn't pegged to a physical commodity. Their value is linked to the issuing country's official currency. It's like a digital version of the money. It's like a USD, but only in digital version. Why I chose it? Continuous move toward digital transaction and the emerge of cryptocurrencies have triggered debates about the potential elimination of physical currency. This proposed transition to a fully digital monetary system has advantage and disadvantage. Why it is controversial? Well, first, increase efficiency and reduce costs associated with printing, handling physical money. Second, enhance financial inclusion and a potential reduction in illicit activities associated with cash transaction. Third, concerns about privacy and security in a fully digital monetary system. Fourth, in a cashless society where all transactions leave a digital footprint, the government could freeze your money if you disagree with their ideas. When it happens. Well, digital currency adoption is progressing globally, but the complete elimination of physical currencies remains unclear. We can see on the map the different developments of CBDCs in the world. Pilots plans to issue currency, exploring digital currency in yellow, and the currency issued in like blue. How it happened or happens. The shift toward digital currencies, CBDC, involved the adoption of electronic payment methods, mobile banking, contactless payments, and the development of secure digital infrastructure. In the image, we can see the three main ways we can implement this in a country. In direct CBDC, the central bank provides the digital version of money to commercial banks, and these commercial banks provide this to person and merchants. Direct CBDC is other way. Central banks provides directly the digital money to the people and the merchant. Hybrid CBDC is other way. In central banks provides digital money, banks or other financial institution, and this provides the digital version of money, person and merchants. a brief description of the issue. It's crucial to understand the implication of a cashless society to establish a monetary system that balances the advantage of digital currencies while protecting individuals' rights and ensuring financial inclusivity. In the image, we can see a timeline. It's called a Race for the Future of Money. Currently, 11 countries are launched digital CBDCs. Other 21 countries have pilots, and 32 countries are developing a version of digital money. Arguments in favor and against. Mainly advantage: increase efficiency of transaction, CBDCs, reduce costs and environmental impact, increase security measures like encryption, authentication, and other security protocols, potential to stimulate economic growth, and reduction of illicit activities like traffic drugs. Mainly disadvantage: possibility of making income inequality worse, vulnerability to cyber attacks, dependency of technological infrastructure, privacy concerns about privacy and surveillance, informal transaction. Street vendors might be affected by the elimination of physical currency because they don't have access to a good technological infrastructure. In conclusion, CBDCs have the potential to improve payment systems and expand the financial inclusion, but also poses risks related to privacy, surveillance, security, and monetary policy. CBDCs could be integrated with other emerging technologies, such as blockchains and smart contracts, potentially creating new use and application. More research is needed to find the right balance between digital and physical currency. And this is the end, and you can do any question that you want.
Okay, thank you, Jorge. Very interesting. Questions, my dear friends. What are your questions about this topic? Thank you, Kiara, for raising your hand.
And I have a question. How should the governments work for prevent the bad use of digital currency, like the cyber attacks?
They want to create this type of digital version of money because it's more easy to then control the access to the transaction the people do, because they can know everything that you are doing, because when you pay with digital money, there is a digital footprint and it's more easy for them. But it's complicated to prevent cyber attacks. They need to develop a strong infrastructure to prevent that.
Okay, thank you, Kiara, for your question. Thank you, Jorge, for answering it. Any other person? Thank you, Catherine.
So it's not a question, but I would like to say that I a little bit disagree with this topic, because I think this can be difficult for the security of people finances. Today, there are many types of cyber attack, hacking, or a lot of people can lose their own money or their own money that they have saved for a long time.
Yes, I agree with you, but we can stop that because the government of different countries of the world have the power. The only way that we can prevent, I think, is we need to use physical money a lot for the moment.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you, Catherine, for your intervention. Now we have Karen.
Okay, I have a question.
Tell
How do cultural and societal factors influence this transition between the physical currency and and digital currency? Well, so I think in my case, I think it will be affect in the case of Colombia, it will be affect the trust in financial institutions and we think too in the people that not had the access to the technology and that's it.
Okay, yes, it's costly. In Colombia, it's very difficult to implement this. By the Bank of the Republic, they are studying a pilot of CBDC. Is linked to the COP, and the problem with Colombia is we don't have a technological infrastructure over all the whole country, and it's difficult to implement this in the near future. We need to build it for many years. But in other countries like China, this is happening now. The physical money is don't use more. The people paying all digital.
Okay, my God, lots of interventions. Thank you, Manuel.
Okay, in my opinion, I think it's a very controversial topic because it has like many issues related and many consequences. For example, if many developed countries implement this, this will create a gap with between developed countries and not developed countries. Why? Because they will have the infrastructure like ready to implement this, and maybe countries which are still developing, they cannot do it in the same way, and this will create like a bigger gap between countries, economically speaking. Also, I believe it's very difficult to work in a direct digital currency because there is going to be still people who work with paper money. So I will maybe go with a hybrid digital currency. I think that would be like a one of the best options, but still I have like some fears related to it.
Yes, I agree with your position. I think in the future, maybe the people will find another way to interchange things. It's similar to money, physical money, because in the world there are parts that I think is difficult to find infrastructure to develop this type of digital currencies, and the only way that they have is to use paper money or another form to interchange service and products.
Okay, great discussion. Last person for this one is Vanessa. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Jorge, your presentation is very interesting. I have a question. Recently in Colombia, we had a cyber attack. For example, where I work, we were left without access to a lot of data. How could cyber attack be controlled so as not to lose money?
I think is very difficult to achieve that because the government they can control if they have a cyber attack. But I think the only way is developing a strong infrastructure of creating safe money, like similar to cryptocurrencies, where you shoot a physical key, like a USB with you when you want to access to this money is another way. The only form to access to this money is with a physical USB to connect in a computer with a password. You need two things to verify your identity.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Jorge. Very interesting topic. And thank you so much to all of you for commenting and asking questions. Okay, very good. Thank you, thank you. We are ready for Manuel. Manuel is our fourth person of this presentation. Okay.
Okay, teacher, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, has any one of you ever played a video game? Maybe most of us. How about a video game with violent content? Or maybe with sexually explicit content? Well, this is the topic I want to talk about. Should video games with violent or explicit content be prohibited? In other words, banned or not? Well, this is the agenda for this discussion. So first, we're going to check why is it controversial. Then, second, when does it happen? Third, a little topic description, my point of view, and then discussion time. So there are a few arguments against prohibition. I think the most important of it is for all gamers. They found it like an unlimited source of entertainment. So I think many of us can agree with it because many of us grown up playing video games since we were kids, and maybe most of them had maybe violent content. Okay, prohibition could be considered a violation of people's rights. This could be an argument that people against prohibition could have. Why? Because there is no, or maybe apparently there is no any harm related to playing a video game, and you're not affecting to anybody else. So this could be considered like a violation of a right that we have to, to play. Also, prohibition, like in different maybe other aspects, maybe drugs or alcohol, may motivate its use. So maybe it could create like a dark market, black market, sorry, related to it, where maybe people is going to use maybe not official means to get these games. Also, oh, sorry, one moment, I cannot see my, okay. So also prohibition may not solve all the problems. So many social problems or many parts of the social problems can be related to the video games, but at the end of the day, maybe ban the video games may not solve these problems. So at the end of the day, it's not going to solve anything. Arguments in favor of prohibition can be that video games are often related as the cause of destructive behaviors, especially in children. And this is because there have been cases in which children may have or may try to replicate the behaviors they have online or they have when they play video games. So sometimes these are violent behaviors. Also, video game addiction is a clinical condition. So it's called gaming disorder, and it affects psychologically to people, especially kids. Also, sexual explicit or violent content in video games can lead to obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, or disruptive behaviors. So, in other words, this will affect how the people acts, generally speaking, and it can have like many diseases related to it. Okay, so when does it happen? So video games, we have video games since 80s, but maybe governments started like pay a little more attention to what is the kind of content that the video games have, maybe since 1996. And over the years until now, until nowadays in 2023, there has been like many banned video games for different situations related to violent content, maybe sexual content. And this is derived by maybe suits to the companies who develop the video games, or maybe just the government decided to ban it. So we can see like different cases like Greece, Brazil, China for some specific video games, in Germany, South Korea, and the UK. But the UK, what they did was not ban the video games, just regulated them for some specific ages. Okay, a little description of the topic. Explicitly sexual and violent content in video games is legal in many countries. So even here we can see different video games with maybe nudity, or maybe a lot of violence where people is killed, or maybe some specific people, or maybe the main topic of the game is killing some specific type of person, maybe based on gender or in different things. So sometimes it can get like really really difficult to maybe to see, to understand, or it can bring with it like many heavy things to discuss about it. So it's a matter of concern for many parents, and this is like the special topic, and because regulations sometimes cannot be restrictive enough. So a discussion here is that sometimes there are regulations related to it. Maybe these video games is just for 18 or plus people, but there is no way to make sure that children are not going to access to this kind of video games, because the only thing that they have to do is just telling them they are, I don't know, 20, 23, and that's it. So there is no guarantee. And the third topic is it prohibition a real guarantee that maybe children are not going to get access to this kind of content? Okay, so that's part of the discussion. What is my point of view in general terms? I divide it in two parts. The first one is violent content. So I think prohibition is not always the best way to address a social problem. Maybe some video games should be banned, in my opinion, because the excess of violence is maybe it's something that we can see from far away. But also we have to think that prohibition could backfire the initial intent. And why? This is because what I mentioned before, it could create like a different market, or it can like make the people focus more on it, or it can get it to the spotlight, in other words. Because people like things that are prohibited, and there is something in our minds related to it. So this could backfire in the initial intent. So about sexual explicit content is that maybe I have a more open opinion about it, because nudity is part of what we are. It's part of the of humanity. So that could be like something normal, but of course, that should be related to age. We cannot show maybe nudity to a kid when he's really young. So, but I think at the end of the day, this is not something like wrong if it's shown like with respect. Also, regulation is important to protect children from premature exposure. So this is what I wanted to say here before. Of course, there should be some regulation in order to prevent our kids maybe to have access to premature content when they are so young. And there is something important here, that maybe the content related to sexual, maybe explicitly sexual, can be based on consent. Why? Because we don't want to show something that is wrong in the first sight. You know, we want to show maybe, or what we want to, or what I mean is that sexual content has to be respectful with people and with the viewers. So, and this is part of the discussion, but this is my opinion. Okay, so let's discuss. So, what do you think? Should video games with violent or explicit content be prohibited?
Wow, this is a very good one, because you have mentioned, like both, like very interesting arguments in favor and against, and we are like, okay, blowing our mind with information. Diego is ready for commenting. Go ahead, Diego.
Okay, teacher. The solution is not banned, because now exists a system that evaluates explicit content or violence that a video game has. It is called PEGI, and the responsibility is for parents to take care their children's. And the focus in this topic is the explicit content and the violence, and the video games is not there. It not has the all responsibility in this content, because the childrens can find this content in movies or in internet. It is my opinion, teacher.
Okay, thank you, Diego. Very useful. Yeah.
Right, Diego. Yeah, I agree with that. This can be found in different other in different other ways, on different other maybe channels. So there's no way on attacking video games.
Okay, guys, any other person who wants to comment on this topic? Thank you, Catherine.
So, Miss, I want to say that when a game is provide violence or explicit content, this can help to decrease violence between children, and increase, and this type of content in video games show an increase in aggressiveness, impulsivity, and use of bad words has been seen in children who play this type of games. Parents are also concerned about this situation. Why not early sexual content is called early hypersexualization in psychology. Yeah. So this type of explicit content is maybe a reason for many children can be violent sometimes, and in the school with another children, with another teachers too sometimes, and also with their families.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I think that the most important discussion to to talk is about how do we prevent that kids have an early exposure to this maybe sensitive content. How we prevent that. I think that's the difficult question because it's not easy. At least for governments, it's not easy, or even for parents.
So hard to control. Yes, thank you, Catherine, for your intervention. Any other person? Okay, Karen. Karen is gonna be the last. Okay, Karen and Kiara for this one. Go ahead, Karen.
Sorry. Okay, I disagree because there are a specific audience for these games. So the parents must control the type of entertainment and their children consume. Because if we stop to provide pro, prohibit video games, we will also have to prohibit movies, series, social networks, and etc. We always expose it to violence.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Good point. Okay, guys, I'm afraid we cannot have more interventions by this one. We are going to listen to Kiara. We move to Karen's presentation, okay? Go ahead.
Okay, teacher. I agree with Karen because I think that the parents should be more responsible about their children's because it's easy for them give the phone or um the computer to their children's, but I think that they don't um, don't read the specific age for age game.
Okay, thank you so much, Kiara. Manuel, you did a very good job. Thank you guys for helping us with the discussion. Now we are ready with Karen. Okay, let me just tell you something. As you notice, we have spent longer than we planned. It is okay. We're going to have Karen and Natalia. Santiago, you're not going to be today because of the time. Do not worry. What we can do is that tomorrow we'll have the rest of you, and it's going to be easier and faster because tomorrow we won't have any other thing, like no information, no instructions. So I can start with the presentations right away as soon as I say hi, guys. Okay? So don't worry, everything is under control. Yeah, because I don't want to cut up the other ones because you still need, well, to have the right of, having this discussion that the previous ones have had. Okay? That was very good. All your topics have been very interesting, and the idea is to discuss, but my goodness, time limitations. Okay, thank you, Manuel. Karen, we are ready. Karen. Ready?
Yes, teacher. Do you see my screen?
Yes. Let's go.
Okay, I will start. Okay, good evening. My name is Karen Acevedo and my project is about dollarization. Dollarization is an economic concept very interesting, but sometimes is a bit tricky. So I will keep it simple for you. So what is the dollarization? Dollarization consists when a country decides to use the United States dollars as its official currency is instead of its local currency. So instead of having pesos, sucres, or bolivares, they go for good old American dollars. So what I did, what I why did I choose this topic? The first reason is it's a macroeconomic issue that has a great impact about the countries that implement it or countries that plan to do it. The second reason is that dollarization can have profound effects on countries' economy, monetary policy, inflation rates, and overall financial stability. And the third is many countries around the world have adopted dollarization, and I think today it has become more important due to the situation in Argentina, where the presidential candidate Milei plans to use the US dollar as official currency. Why is it a controversial topic? It's a controversial topic because it sparks a debate between the potential economy stability it offers and the loss of control over over a country's monetary policy. It is a complex issue with strong arguments on both sides, leading ongoing leading to ongoing controversy and discussion. How it happened. There are two types of dollarization. The first one is the official. It consists when a country uses the 100% of 100% the dollar for its transactions such as prices, salaries, and contracts, eliminating the local currency, devaluation, and the extreme inflation. And the second is an unofficial way. And that is when the people use the US dollar to the people use the US dollar, uh, but the local currency continues circulating. And they do this to avoid his savings and their wealth, uh, lose their value. The arguments in favor. The first argument is the dollarization can bring stability to a country's economy. And this is because the US dollar tends to be an stable and reliable currency compared to many national currencies. Things this can help to control the inflation and maintain price stability in the country's economy. The second argument is the US eliminate the uncertainty associated with the fluctuation in the national currency. So people and companies don't have to worry about the loss of value of their wealth and saving. And the last one is dollarization can simplify international trade by eliminating currency exchange costs and reducing transaction risks. Okay, the arguments again. One of the biggest drawbacks uh, of dollarization is that country gives us the ability to control its own monetary monetary policy because it cannot print its own currency or control the interest rates to deal with the economic crisis or stimulate the growth. The second, this causes the second argument. Dollarization can create a heavy dependence of the U.S. economy and the decision of the U.S. Federal Reserve. And the third is by not having national currency, cannot devalue its currency to improve its competitiveness in international trade, affecting negatively exports and increase the dependence on imports. In my opinion, dollarization is necessary when a country has an immense inflation rate. So, for example, for, ex- for example, Zimbabwe. Uh, who Zimbabwe has reached 500% of inflation rates of annual inflation rates. However, this is not a definitive solution for all economic problems because the dollarization has exposed the country to new vulnerabilities. So before dollarizing, countries must look for other measures and policies that address their long-term challenges. And the conclusions, dollarization has both advantages and challenges, impacting in economic stability, trade, and financial integration with potential benefits of reducing exchange rate risk, but also raising concerns about lost monetary control and local policy flexibility. And final, thanks for your attention. And if you have any questions, and I want to ask to you, what do you think about the dollarization in Argentina?
Okay, thank you so much, Karen. Okay, Jorge's raising his hand. Go ahead.
I agree with Milei. I think the best way to eliminate the inflation in Argentina is the dollarization. The main advantage of dollarization is that the local government of this country, Argentina in this case, they can print money, dollars. They depend of the dollars that the government of USA printing each month. And a disadvantage could be that you depend of the economy of USA. If the economy of USA is lower, I don't know how to say, you lose money in your country because it's linked directly with this money. Your economy, how you say before, not depends of inter policies in your country, depends of external policies like Federal Reserve of the USA.
Okay, I agree with that. You lose the monetary control. This is very, very bad for a country like Argentina, I think. because Argentina have a very serious problem with the fiscal situation. So they have to resolve the fiscal situation to dollarize.
Okay, very interesting. Any other person who wants to comment on this or who wants to answer Karen's question? Come on, guys. Any other person? Karen, have you got another question for them?
No, teacher.
Okay, thank you so much. Very interesting. And that's also a topic that is related to, situations that are part of our reality. Very good. So now we have Natalia. Thank you, Karen. Good job. Natalia, are you ready? Natalia?
Yes, teacher, let me share my screen. Sorry for the back noise.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, Natalia.
Can you hear me, teacher?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So, good evening. Let me introduce myself. My name is Natalia Navarro, and today I want to talk about marriage equality. So, first, I would like to begin by providing some context for our debate today. This is the table of contents that contains why I choose it, what is controversial, when it happened, how it happened, the basic problem description, arguments, and conclusions. So, first, why I choose it? It's important accepting marriage equality for several reasons that include equality of rights, human rights and civil liberties, mental health and well-being, advancement towards equality. I think that denying same-sex couple the right to marry is a term of description or violation their human rights. Why is controversial? It's controversial for a lot of topics, but this is the more, not more important, but the more, that the takes, they are notable. Okay, so first, religious belief, traditional values, misconceptions, and stereotypes, and family and child rearing concerns. When it happened, the history of marriage equality is marked by significant facts that start in 1960s, when the activists start challenging discriminatory laws and attitudes, and has been taking progress during the last years. And an important day is in 2020, where started recognition in Latin America. How it happened, the progress has been made, that the progress that the activists has been made in order to achieve the equality marriage includes activism, as I mentioned in the previous slide, legal challenges, public opinion shift, international precedents, and international and regional human rights frameworks. And the basic problem description is included marriage inequality refers to the legal and social discrimination that occurs when same-sex couples are denied the right to marry. And this exclusion results in a various negative consequences for LGBTQ plus individuals and their families. And the case aspects of the problems are traditional and religious belief, interpretation of marriage purpose, societal impact and family structure, and cultural and international variations. Arguments in favor. Social recognition and acceptance. This sends a powerful message that Q plus relationships are valid, equals, and deserving of respect. And for the other hand, equal rights that shows that all people have the same legal rights and opportunities, independent of the sexual orientation, and psychological and emotional well-being that has positive effects on mental health and the overall quality of the life. Arguments against. So the first one, a religious belief that defines that the marriage as a union between a man and a woman, and they believe the legalization same-sex marriage contradicts this religious principles. Tradition and culture values, historical and traditional definition of marriage as a union, as I mentioned, between a man and a woman, and procreation and child rearing that say that the children had the right to be raised by both as a mother and a father, and that allows same-sex couple to many infringe of this right. And the conclusions, the status of marriage equality varies significantly around the world. As you can see in the image, there are some red points that there were places where the marriage equality is still a very, very hard topic for the people. And in some place, is still the death penalty. The points in yellow and orange, there are places where these all laws and regulations are in progress and has been a slow progress during the last years. There are many opponents of marriage equality, and they believe that denying same-sex couple the right to marry is a form of discrimination and violation of their basic rights. And marriage equality is often seen as a marker of a societal progress. It reflects changing attitudes toward LGBTQ plus rights and acceptance, indicate a more inclusive and open society. And many marriage equality as looks as a positive step towards inclusivity and justice, and others continue thinking about the implications within the content of their personal religions and cultural perspective. And that's it for myself. So, any question?
Very good, Natalia. Awesome presentation. Okay, questions for Natalia about this topic? I think this is also, yes, as the rest of yours, very, very interesting. So what are your comments, guys? We still have some minutes for commenting, for discussing, or I don't know if you have any question for them, Natalia? Not really? Okay. Okay, guys. So what do you want to say about it? Okay, let me see who I can ask. Maybe from the other team that were not a little bit stressed about presenting today. Maria, what do you think about this topic? What's your opinion?
I think that that families could be very different, but they can be in common their love and their relationship, and that it could be make a family.
Yes, Maria. Okay, what about you, Jessica? What's your opinion? Jessica, can you hear us? Okay, Mandy, what about you? Give us your opinion towards this controversial issue. Mandy?
Yes, teacher, I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, teacher, for me, it's a controversial topic, and I think when you see the children in her early ages, uh, this kind of people need love, teacher, of course. I think if the world uh, have more love to another people, the world maybe will be a better place to live, teacher.
Okay, thank you, Mandy. Yes, I agree with you. We all deserve love, of course. Yes, okay. And okay, Santiago, thank you. Go ahead.
Well, well, in my opinion, well, personally, I have no against to LGBT community or well, many of the ideas they try to push or impose in the society nowadays. I think well, many person or whatever person can choose, well, doesn't choose of who they fell love, but what I mean, well, the person achieved their responsibilities with the society and doesn't make and hurt, in my opinion. What I spoke since perspective of evolution. I don't know how to say it in Spanish, in English. Yo soy un poco evolucionista. And they consider that it's better that, meanwhile, a person doesn't affect the evolution, the advance of the human species to upgrade our organism to get defense against viruses or things like that. There's no problem. But the problem is, well, the only thing that I have against the LGBT community is that they try to show or introduce the idea that the people should be weak in some aspects or is good to be weak. Yeah, but it doesn't is because what as a I speak that since a very evolutionist perspective because what it will people what tough times create strong people create easy times, but the easy times as in which we are now are creating weak people and the weak people create tough times again. So that's what the only thing I have against this moment.
Okay, well, those are strong arguments, right? Yeah, but I understand your position, of course, because I have seen both sides of it. Yeah, and at some point it could be a little bit, well, controversial it is, but yeah, I understand, the other side that is like imposing things, and trying to just get the others to think the way they are. And the idea of all of this movements, as you call them, Santiago, is to be tolerant, right? So I know that the other side could be like, okay, yeah, I know, I respect, yeah. Well, very interesting discussion. Thank you guys for your comments. Thank you for being very friendly, because that's what you showed today. You were trying to help your classmates to have a good presentation, trying to ask some questions and comment on those topics, and that was very wonderful. You really, really gave me that feeling of you know, like how can I say, like friendship, yeah, like that, like collaboration, and that was like very good, yeah. I was experiencing that with your presentations, of course, apart from the English and preparation and all the hard work you guys have done. That is something that I wanted to highlight, because I know that you guys did your best for helping your classmates, which is awesome, because that's, you know, what we need in this world. Yeah, that's what we really show very good behaviors and characteristics of a personality of a, well, you know, person. Okay, thank you for your time. Do not worry, Santiago, you are going to be part of the second group. Don't worry, the rest of you will have your time. But the different thing is that tomorrow, as soon as I say, hi guys, we are going to start, okay? As soon as I say hello, we go right away, okay? So please be ready for tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. See you tomorrow. I will ask teacher Laura for 5 more minutes of break. Don't worry. Take
Good
care,
night,
guys.
me. See you
Bye,
tomorrow.
teacher. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys. Good presentations.